Okay, I can see Chris shaking her head. Annette, you're on mute.
I'm trying.
Okay, probably better leave it on audio all the time. So we're going to start doing the roll call of states, see who we have here for delegates. Oh, lost her again. Okay, do we have, I guess I will do it. We'll randomly go down through the states.
Can you hear me?
There's a touch of a lag sometimes, Annette, so if you push it twice, it sometimes turns it off and then turns it right back.
Okay, is it on now?
We are hearing you, yes.
Okay. I'm going to start. I'll start with Connecticut. Do we have Alicia McHugh on?
Hi, yes, Lisa's here.
Okay, awesome. How about Sarah Kubik?
I don't think Sarah made it, but I do see Teresa Peavy.
Yeah, I'm on.
Who was that?
Teresa Peavy from Connecticut. Sarah's not on.
Can you spell your last name for the minutes, please?
P like Peter, E-A, V like Victor, E-Y.
Okay. Delaware, Maryland. Do we have Patrick Good on?
I'm here.
And how about Carol Hill?
She's having technical difficulties, but she should be on soon, Annette.
Okay. Well,
She's coming.
all right. Maine, Marcia Hall. How about Gary Raymond?
Marcia Hall's here.
Thank you. Gary Raymond. How about for Massachusetts, James Newland? James? How about Nancy Miller?
Hi, it's Cheryl from Rhode Island. Jamie doesn't have the link. He just Skyped me.
Okay, I'll come back through. Can you?
And our Rhode Island Department of
New Hampshire, Jen Gailey. How about Carol Sargent? Allie Mayer from New York. I'm on. Rhode Island, I heard Cheryl. Pennsylvania, did Jason get on? How about?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, awesome. How about Jessica Gerhart? Did Jess get on? I'll come back through in case they pop on. Vermont, Tina Williams.
I'm here.
Chris, I see. West Virginia, Barbie Parsons. Barbie? How about Dan Shockey? Don't see them either. All right, I'm going to go back through for the ones that I missed. We're all set for Connecticut. How about Carol? Did you pop on, Carol? Down to Maine, did we have Gary Raymond on? Massachusetts, James Newland. Nancy Miller. New Hampshire, Jen Gailey. Carol Sargent. New York, Allie Mayer. Pennsylvania, Jess Gerhart. West Virginia, Barbie Parsons. Dan Shockey. Rick, can we ask for members from the states if they're on, if they're members and they can fill in as a voting delegate?
Hi, Annette. Massachusetts is here. Sorry,
Awesome. How about Nancy? Is Nancy with you?
she will not be.
Okay. And do you have anybody else from Massachusetts on?
No.
Okay. Anybody else from Maine on besides Marcia?
Lori's on.
Rick, are you still on? I believe
Yeah,
we
I'm
can.
sorry, I'm here. What's up?
We can substitute, correct, if they're a voting member?
Yes, yep.
Lori, would you like to be the voting member from your state?
Sure thing.
That's Massachusetts, right?
No, that's Maine.
Or Maine, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I knew that. Okay. Anyone else? Did Carol get on?
I'm here.
Awesome. Okay. Anyone from New Hampshire pop on? Anyone else from New York besides myself? Kate's on, but correct?
Here I am.
Kate, would you like to be the voting member?
Sure.
Anyone else from Pennsylvania besides Jason? Okay, and I think we have a quorum then. Back to you.
Okay, so we'll start with any nominations for the Northeast Area Executive.
I'd like to nominate Annette Hyman.
Are we looking for a second on that?
That was me. I
Or do
figured
you
you
just
recognize my
go with-
voice.
Okay,
How about any other nominations first?
okay, are there any other nominations for Northeast Area Exec? Do we have to do that 3 times?
Three
Are there
times.
Are there any more nominations for Northeast Area Exec? Are there any more nominations for Northeast Area Exec? Hearing no other nominations, do we just close nominations and make a vote?
A motion. Someone like to make a motion to close?
I'll make a motion to close.
Lori,
Seconded.
who seconded?
Lori did.
Do we have to vote on that? Boy, you're the one that knows all the ins and outs of.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion moved. Thank you.
Congratulations, Annette. And then let's open it up for nominations for Northeast Area Alternate Exec. Are there any nominations?
I would like to nominate Tina Williams from Vermont.
Are there any other nominations for Northeast Area Alternate Exec?
Does that need a second?
We got to ask 3 times.
Oh, sorry.
Are there any other nominations for Northeast Area Alternate Exec? Are there any other nominations for Northeast Area Alternate Exec?
Motion.
I need a motion to close nominations. Is that what's next?
Yes.
Motion.
Motion to close. I think Kate made that, correct? Is there a second?
I second it.
Patrick?
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Congratulations, Tina.
Thank you.
So, yes, congratulations, Tina. And I'm confident, Annette, you are going to lead us over the next couple of years with ease. You do come in with experience as the executive, what was that, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and certainly had a long time as the NASCOE secretary. So certainly appreciate the experience that you bring to the job. So next up, moving right along, will be reports from the Northeast area chairs. And we do have a list here. Before we get into the different reports, I would like to thank everybody for serving in their positions over the last 2 years. Did a great job. Communications were very timely. Have no complaints about anything that you guys put out or the job that you did. So thanks very much for that. And so let's start with Cheryl Mishner from Rhode Island as our Scholarship and Awards Chair. Are you there? I see you. We don't hear you.
Definitely here. I was trying to get my report up so I can read it. Give me 1 second because I have to squish it so I can read it. Okay, so the distinguished service to NASCOE, we had one applicant. It was Jamie McLean from St. Mary County, Maryland. She's not on today with us, is she?
I think I saw her at one point.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, she's there.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna read, the submission. What do you want to be when you grow up? For some of us, this has been an easy answer, solidified early in life. For others, what we imagine as our career path takes an unimaginable turn, a blessing in disguise that has benefited a community and in this case, an entire employee association. Jamie McLean is the epitome of this description. Jamie started with Farm Service Agency known as ASCS as a temporary program technician in 1982. At the time, ASCS was probably not an acronym in Jamie's career path. Being part of a military family, she resided in many places during childhood, experiencing big cities life as well as suburbia. ASCS, she thought, in rural St. Mary County, Maryland, would just be a short stop as a part of the ride. Thankfully, 38 years later, that one traffic light in the county remained stuck unread, allowing Jamie to make her career with the FSS. What a career it's been. Jamie had 5 directors as supervisors during her tenure. She's been through the implementation of multiple farm bills, done thousands of acreage reports, and answered multiple producer calls. Producers know Jamie as she knows them and their children and some of their children's children. During Jamie's time at FSA, she and her husband, Jeff, have raised 2 daughters and now have 5 grandsons. Starting in 2010, Jamie decided there were some parts of FSA family she wanted to get to know a little more. She had always been an employee association member, but decided it was time to understand more about the group, both statewide and nationally. In 2010, Jamie became Delaware, Maryland State Association Secretary. Since then, Jamie continues to be secretary, has been selected as part of the negotiations team with NASCOE, and has attended multiple association rallies and national conventions. Negotiations have involved her traveling to places like Texas and Washington, D.C., working to help continue or change the better county employee benefits. Recently, Jamie helped in the planning and implementation of the 2019 Northeast Area Rally in Maryland. As Jamie would tell you, She drank the NASCOE Kool-Aid. In admiration of her years of service with FSA, the local agricultural community, and her continued support in both DMASCOE and NASCO, please consider Jamie. Woo, Jamie. So I'm a little bit confused about the scholarship stuff, I'll be honest with you. Some of it was done digitally, I think, and some of it wasn't. And I still hadn't gotten answers from Julie Gozman about it, but I believe we had 2 open continuing education scholarships and 1 traditional scholarship. The traditional scholarship was submitted from Pennsylvania, Alana Leisure from Indiana County, and the continuing were submitted Luke Jones from the New River area of West Virginia and Brielle Mishner from Rhode Island. I'm not really sure who won. I can't say. I know that only 2 of my judges returned stuff directly to me, but I don't know if the other 2 could submit it directly online, and I never got good communication about that. So I have to apologize that I don't know the answer to that. I guess we'll find out tomorrow when Julie gives her report about who received the awards, I guess.
Okay,
That's
I think
all
there
I
was,
have, and I'm
yeah.
sorry that it's vague and I don't have the answers.
I think, like everything else in society, COVID certainly broke things down. Historically, the area execs have judged the scholarship winners, and I never got any communication either about that. So I have no idea what that breakdown was or what route they ended up taking. So thank you for that report, Cheryl. Our Benefits and Emblems Chair is James Newland out of Massachusetts.
Good afternoon. Sorry I'm not on camera. I'm a little shy. So we continue to work with Working Advantage. This continues to provide discounts to thousands of things, including theme parks, attractions, car rentals, water parks, movies, all things that we can't currently do. So that's kind of a challenge at the moment. COVID kind of threw a wrench in that. It turns out that Working Advantage does offer us benefits to get a Sam's Club discount to NASCOE members that was more beneficial than the actual discount from Sam's Club. So if anyone's looking for Sam's Club discounts, we're going to go through Working Advantage from now on. We continue to work with Emblems by Superior, and they've been doing monthly promotions, including sales and discounts and free shipping, and that's been very successful. Additionally, NASCOE's partnered with Superior to provide new members with $25 gift cards, which was quite popular. Some of the newest members in my state could be seen donning their new FSA clothing, which kind of led to some buy-in and a morale boost. Additionally, we continue to work with Dillard Financial Solutions, Inc. They've been updating us with flyers for the NASCOE website, including a short video, in addition, giving us attachments to send to membership, not on a monthly basis, but maybe a quarterly basis. And we've also been partnered with Live Streaming Services, LLC, which was one of the more timely benefits, given that they provide live online on-demand fitness classes and cooking and nutrition classes online, which during this time is something that could really benefit people. I don't have the numbers as far as how many people took advantage of that. I unfortunately attended the breakout session with Chris just a moment ago, but my audio on my computer was faulty. I did read the slides, and I look forward to watching that breakout to get some more info on that. But just looking forward, not really knowing how long we're going to be living in the COVID world, maybe we should be looking more to more kind of remote or delivery items, like the meal deliveries, you know, that are all the ingredients that come, something like that. Seems as though people are going to be staying at home more and not going out in groups. So additionally, I don't want to steal Tina's thunder with membership, but we did discuss in one of our meetings amongst Benefit and Emblems chairs to have a packet for new members, but to also include info on the benefits in those packets that kind of could educate them right up front what benefits are available, kind of a blending of membership and benefits per se. So that's about all I have, Larry. And I'd just like to thank you, Larry, for giving me the chance to serve on the committee, and I look forward to continuing doing so.
Well, I certainly appreciate your efforts, James, and I would give Chris a chance to add anything to that, or was that comprehensive enough?
That was pretty comprehensive. I would just want you folks to remember that there's some special promotions going on for the virtual convention on Superior right now. So don't forget to check that out. Both Mike Hamilton and Teresa Dillard joined us in our breakout session earlier today.
Okay, so next committee chair would be our legislative committee person, Annette Hyman.
Thank you. We started out today's session, I think we were a little disappointed. We only had about 35, 36 people, but when we ended, we had about 49 on. So we did gain a few, and maybe some of it was due to technical difficulties as well. Before I forget, we do have a meeting tonight live at 7:30. Hunter Moorhead will then speak. He couldn't obviously speak today during our work hours. So he should have some good information. It's always fun listening to Hunter. Very connected and gives us lots of up and coming and what to be looking for as what's coming out on the Hill. And especially with it being an election year, he might have a little bit of insight or some thoughts on that as well. Obviously, I'll go over our area participation that we have, and I'm just going to leave it at that, and you guys know what that means. We, for the most part, did fairly well until this past pay period when we lost 2 contributors. So we were at 19% actually until this week, and we fell to 18%. That's not too bad. We had 2 states in the Northeast area that increased their contributors by 1 each. That was Maine and New York. And like every other place, we've lost employees. So our numbers, we're staying at the same percentage pretty much. And that's due to the fact that we have less employees to average out that math in there. So hop on tonight and you'll get more information about that. I hesitate to give any bit more than that because we're still, well, I guess it's 4:30. I'm off. I think we're all off the clock with that. We did pretty good. We're neck and neck with the Southeast area, really, and the Northeast area. So we're all smaller areas compared to the Midwest area, which is at only 11% participation. We are at 18%, and like I said, until this week, we were 19. So I was fairly pleased with that due to the lack of having the rally and state meetings. So not too bad on that. If you stay tuned tonight, you'll see the new pack promotions, which really did increase participation. They're pretty nice. Those of you that got the cups, we still have people requesting the cups, but we have a new Padfolio and we have a new backpack, computer bag. And that is very, oh, awesome. Thanks for holding that up. I'm looking at my paper, but you're holding it up. That was a big draw, and it went over. It was more of an investment for NASCOE, but it went over very well on that. We did have our leadership conference. I did get sent, not as a legislative person, but as a member from New York. My state actually paid full for me to go. I was not a newbie, and so I did not get cost shared. I thought they did a great job. That was in lieu of the legislative fly-in. And so I'm not quite sure. Hunter's not a huge fan of fly-ins. He believes that a more personal approach is a better effect and obviously a little bit better for our money. And so, and I have to agree with certain things. The only setback or negative from that is I got bit with the NASCOE bug when I went to a legislative conference, and a lot of people did. And so it's half of one, six of another, half a dozen of another. So I'm finishing up my 4th year on the ledge, 2 years under a different exec committee and officers, and now this 2 year. I've enjoyed both. I was the head of the pack these last 2 years. I will have to say I'm looking forward to hanging that up. That's quite intensive to balance the books of 850 contributors every 2 weeks. So a little bit of a time consuming thing, but I like numbers. So it was interesting at the same time. You're going to hear a little bit more. I think the big legislative item right now was the paid parental leave. And as we heard Peggy Brown say today, that has been passed and they've agreed to extend that. The next step that we'll have, and you'll hear Hunter talk about that tonight, is to get that written into legislation. It is not written into legislation at this point. It is just agreed upon by the current administration. So that's very important to get that permanent. So I think that's the biggest one. Obviously, the teleworking and the issues that we have with COVID might vary per state. Mostly in the Northeast area, I think we're all, at least in New York, the tri-state area is very, very similar. But I don't know if Larry's had complaints, but I've not really heard of any. I know my state, which is usually kind of hard-nosed at times, was excellent during this whole COVID and teleworking and making sure that employees tried to get a laptop so they could do that. So, and I've kind of heard that across the board in the Northeast. But I think other than that, if somebody has questions, I'd be glad to answer them. I look forward to working with you as the exec again. I get discouraged, and just like a lot of you, Larry and I were like, oh, we're tired, but then you get, this is what we need, this face-to-face, even though it's like Zoom right now. It's just nice seeing faces, and that gets you energized. So I look forward to working on a couple different things, and I know Cheryl was frustrated as scholarship chairperson. When I had that, I was extremely frustrated, and I'm sad to hear that they haven't streamlined that process. I think that is an area that, as an exec, that I'll definitely address on that. I think, and we have a lot of good involved people in the Northeast area, and we just don't tend to get a lot of participation, or people don't put in for the awards. So just to piggyback off of you. So I think that's it. And thanks, Larry.
All right. Thank you, Annette, for that report. And now to the energetic Tina Williams, who's our membership chair and newly elected alternate exec.
I don't know, the energy level's starting to lull. So no, we've been really busy on the membership side of things all year, even with COVID. We did have a membership committee meeting in January. We went to Kansas City, Missouri. First time that meeting has been held since 2010. We had 5 new members, newer NASCOE members, along with the Northeast area, along with all the area chairs. We've kind of kept them on as quote unquote junior area chairs. They gave us a lot of good feedback and new ideas for membership. So some of the key points, there is a NASCOE video. It is now posted to the website as of this morning. Do not watch it on your government computer, please. Please watch it on a personal laptop, or I think probably even your cell phone. I think I watched it on the cell phone. So that has been posted. I believe it was posted this morning. It's another product. It's another tool. You know, we're not 100% happy with it, honestly, but it's a tool. You know, everyone has their opinion on it, but it's another tool for states to use to help with membership. We have fallen overall to 75%, down from 80. Not a surprise with the COVID environment and a lot of retirements, but it is a little discouraging. So we are working on some things. The biggest thing is membership database called the NID, the NASCOE informational database, I believe is what it stands for. We are able to, and this will be forthcoming, you'll be able to, hopefully the goal is to do monthly reports to each state. We're able to filter out employees on board compared to who's a member. So a state can easily recognize who the non-members are so that they can reach out to them. And we're hoping to do that on a monthly basis to make it easier. We encourage you to look at USA Jobs if your state's not good about putting out what positions are being posted, but that can be cumbersome for bigger states or states that are doing a lot of hiring at one time. In Vermont, not usually a big deal. There's not that many of us, but you know, for the bigger states, it's a little harder to monitor USA Jobs all the time. So, but that option is out there. We did go over the membership training slides. Those have been updated. Those are posted to the website as well. One important thing to note, we will be sending out again the spreadsheet. So if you have people that are new members or people that are no longer members because they retired, or someone changes their email address, that information needs to come to me, your area chair, membership chair, and then we can put it in a database for it to be uploaded to the national database. So it's important that flow is followed so that it's getting there. We can't be sending it directly to Teresa. She doesn't need everyone across the nation's new members information being sent to her directly to upload. So if we go with this spreadsheet, it's all in the same format. It's a lot easier for us as area chairs to enter, and then for Teresa to just do a quick upload of the information we've entered for her. So we're trying to task that out to the area membership chairs to take a little pressure off Teresa with all the work she's been doing. Please encourage your states, if you don't already have one, to track membership. People love to be recognized, and we only had 37 individual consecutive year recognitions this year, submissions nationwide, and 22 for the county office awards, where the county office has maintained 100% membership for at least 25 years. That's down, and I understand. Normally we have rally, we talk about it, people, it's fresh on their minds, then we go, you know, we have it submitted by June 15th. With COVID, everything's been disarrayed, and we had CFAP sign up, and so we want to shoot to make sure that people are able to keep track of that so that we can recognize them for their awards. We did do a membership drive. Chris and myself teamed up to do that. We sent out over 150 letters. The packet had the letter to join from President Brandon Wilson. It had a membership application. It had your states and the regular template of the national one if you didn't have a state one. It had the Superior gift card promotion, and it had the membership benefits fact sheet. So that went out to about 150 people. Chris personally hand wrote on the emblems Superior benefit gift card promotion to the person, and I personally hand wrote a note to on the membership one. It was a lot of work. I think we ended up with 15 people, at least in the Northeast area. I'd have to look again, but I believe it's at least that many. So roughly 10%. That's not too bad. Everyone helps. And a shout out to NASCOE. We had a CED take that and run with it and was able to get both PTs or two of her PTs to join, sparked by those letters coming into the office. So, you know, you never know who it's going to be. Everyone is responsible for membership. So reach out to those new employees. Tell them your NASCOE story. And maybe Kate's story doesn't work for everyone, but maybe Patrick's does. You know, it's up to everybody to reach to the new employees. So we highly encourage that. And I think that hits everything, Larry.
All right, thank you. But I'd also like to give a shout out to you, Tina, in Vermont. I think we had 4 or 5 of our last members all join. Our newest employees all join. I think you said one of those has since withdrawn his membership, but 80% was pretty good. So next up is our County Office Advocacy Committee Chairperson, and I'll apologize ahead of time if I screw up this pronunciation, but Lori Tribitot.
Tibitot, yep. Hi.
From Maine.
From Maine, yes. Actually, originally Massachusetts and now Maine. So I worked in FSA in Mass as well. I actually just came on board to this, I don't even know, maybe halfway through this time period because the previous chairperson had to step down. So it's a little bit new, and COAC has also lost the national leadership because our national chairperson resigned just because of too many duties. So we've been a little bit fumbling, but nonetheless busy. We just had our breakout in the previous hour, and it was, you know, it was pretty busy. We had Martin Bomer for DAFO talk at the beginning, and, you know, he went on how proud he is of NASCOE for doing this virtually, but he encouraged everyone to go on the FSA webpage in the About FSA section. There is a really cool history page of the history of FSA, and he encouraged everybody to show our new employees that as well, or seasoned employees even. He talked about the fellowship programs that had come out in the past year, and they kind of got put on hold as a result of COVID, but they do plan on resuming those next year as soon as they can, because they really like getting the grassroots input and getting CO folks down to DC. So that will continue, which is really cool. Huge project that DAFO has been working on is county committee orientation training, which NASCOE and COAC actually recommended some CEDs and PTs to get on the task force with that. And they have since come up with brand new county committee orientation training, and it will go live this January for new county committee members. It will be instructor led. Even if there is COVID still, they're going to do it virtually if need be, but it won't be an AgLearn, you know, booklet type format. So that's going to be pretty cool. And everyone will be able to view it on the DAFO Peapod SharePoint page. So it will be posted up there hopefully soon. Something that recently came out is urban agriculture county committees, which is something that actually was written into the 2018 Farm Bill. And we are setting up 5 in 5 different states this year. They'll be rolling out in this next quarter, basically. And then next year, we'll roll out 5 more. It's in areas where there is not an existing county committee. It's the cities, and they want to build the role of the producers, they're entering producers into skims now, and they're expecting to have quarterly meetings, and they're expecting a lot of NAP and maybe loan participation in those areas, as well as some NRCS Hoop House info. So that's going to be kind of cool. We went through with new business, which is going to be first and foremost as a result of COVID. We want to make sure that the county committee can safely meet in person. There has been a lot of inconsistencies among the states on that. And, you know, they're putting together, along with NAFEC, they're putting together some hopeful formats so that we can make some suggestions, such as meeting outside the office in an open space where you can maintain social distancing. That is especially important for the ballot counting coming up. The COAC committee has to spend some serious time making sure that county committees will have a presence for that ballot counting. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on that. We want to be making sure that all the states are moving from with the name change from NAFEC to COAC. So a few months back, I contacted all of the state committee chairs, if you have one, or the state presidents, to try to make sure you guys get that put into your next agenda for your next state meeting, so that that name does get changed to County Office Advocacy Committee, and that you assign a state chairperson. You know, we still work with NAFEC whenever we have our meetings. NAFEC gets on the call, but this name change allows us to expand and do a lot more than just things for the county committee. We can be not only the county committee voice, but also the county office voice, and kind of push and talk about how the two should intertwine together. And then we've got some old business that we are going to continue working on, and one of them is it's mostly fact sheets. We're putting out we put out recently a county committee permitted political activities. So NAFEC created that document, and NASCOE has been sent it, and we can share it willingly. It also gives employee rights on, you know, what we're allowed to do for political activity. So that's pretty cool. We are going to be creating a fact sheet for an introduction article into COAC, and to who the committee is and what it's going to be responsible. So that'll be coming out hopefully soon. We will be creating a fact sheet on county committee responsibilities, and also on in regards to office restructuring. So that is going to take a lot of work, because that's, again, inconsistent amongst the states. So we want to make sure our county committees are aware of what their roles, what their jurisdiction is in regards to office restructuring. There'll also be a county committee authority booklet coming out, and of course my phone is ringing. And first and foremost, we need to make a new chair. So they're accepting anybody that's interested in the Northeast area, or actually in the whole country, to step up if you're interested and become the new COAC chair. So that's about it, I guess. I'm going to be contacting you all in the next few probably weeks to check in on the status of the transition to the new name, and we'll go from there. We'll continue on.
Okay, thank you, Lori. My understanding is you've recently entered the COP program, is that right?
I have, yes.
And you're working in Presque Isle?
Who told you that? I am home, but I'm helping out Presque Isle quite a bit, because they have recently had a vast majority of their staff retire, and so I've been a program technician for 18 years, so I don't need too much training. So I'm trying to help out wherever I can, and we can't do
I
much.
I don't think Presque Isle can get any more remote, can it?
No, hopefully I'll be able to actually get up there at some point, but I don't know if it'll happen with this COVID nonsense.
Okay, so thanks again. And our programs chair, Kate Hemstreet from New York.
Hello. Do you want me to cover just the program stuff or some of the breakout stuff too?
what do we have? Are we going to be shut down in 9 minutes, Rick? We're not cut off?
Just say, I'll give it a gas then.
Okay.
You can go
No,
as long
we're
as
okay.
you want, Larry.
What's that?
I said you can go as long as you like.
Okay, so there you go. You have the go-ahead to give a full report, Kate.
Okay, so since July, we've only had one Northeast area submission, though I did get another one the other day that I will send on, though we did have some regularly throughout the year. Things on the programs front have been actually pretty quiet in general for all areas lately, and I think that that has a lot to do with people are just 100% maxed out and literally don't have the extra minutes to write something up. That's been my observation. Consistently, there was submissions for every single area all year long until the last few months, and then it's been like dry for everyone. One of the things that was brought up is when there are tools developed at a local level to please share them, and that can be anonymously. I know that there's a lot of concern about sharing things beyond your safe circle of friends, if you will, because of potential repercussions. But one of the things we had briefly touched on was when I first started, there was a PL Excel document that you did a data input and it spit out your AGI forms, your direct deposit, all that stuff. And then there was a core review and that got brought back. And there's been a suggestion a couple of times to have some of those extra forms automated. Now we have the business file that does the 902 in a semi-automated fashion. And, you know, couldn't you just click a button on there and generate an AGI form or generate a direct deposit, those sorts of, a 1026, those sorts of things that pre-fills at least, you know, the name, the tax ID number, address as applicable, those sorts of things. So that was submitted 11 years ago and went nowhere. So hopefully there's a little bit more energy behind it again. I know, I guess somebody in another state had done something perhaps in Excel and it got shared, and Washington liked it but wanted to perhaps do more with it. They weren't comfortable with it being used, so it got pulled back. But if you do have creative, industrious people who are putting together tools that make our jobs easier, please share them so that they can make everybody's life easier eventually. The Jamie from Indiana, Jamie Garrett, I believe is her last name. She was at the town hall with Secretary Perdue last week. It was in Northern Indiana. She reported that CFAP 2.0 is on the way. Unfortunately or fortunately, it's got another form. So that sounds like it's not a secondary release. That sounds like it's a whole new sign up if you're looking at a 3117 as opposed to a 3114. She indicated that the focus that he spoke on was cattle and hogs. I don't know anything beyond that. That's what she was able to share with us. So I don't know when that's coming either. The big lead in was a caution and a cautionary tale to all about our interaction on social media. There's an FSA Facebook page, which to be honest with you, I was not familiar with. I am quite familiar with the Facebook, but I'm sure Larry is too, right? So I just got on there pretty recently, and there's a lot of stuff being shared, some of it appropriate and some of it unfortunately inappropriate. And someone did receive some disciplinary action for something that they had posted on the Facebook in response to a question that was put out there. And yes, they were on their own time, dime, and device, but it was still deemed inappropriate, and they are a government employee, as we all are, and this person did get some kind of disciplinary action. So big caution to anyone who's using social media of any kind to be very careful about what you're putting out there. So that's what I have to report. Their meeting is running concurrently, so I did have to leave early.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Next up is freshly retired Jamie McLean, who's our negotiation chair. Glad you were able to join us.
Thank you.
Jamie, I guess you're under no obligation to give any report, but we'd love to hear from you.
Well, can you hear me? Because I was having voice difficulties.
No, we hear you loud and clear, or at least
great.
I do.
Okay, great. Negotiations met back in February, and with the intention of meeting with Washington, D.C. come springtime. And obviously with the COVID that happened in March, we weren't able to do anything face-to-face. We did proceed with having any kind of written inquiries or answers to some issues, and it did go downtown. And I want to let everyone know that they are working on them behind the scenes. It's just not face to face, it's through writing back and forth. I encourage anyone to go ahead and submit anything they have issues with, no matter what it is, whether it's well, obviously we're talking programs, but a computer issue, TNAs, just about anything. Go ahead and submit it, and then we can work on it, or you guys can work on it now. I do want to, I'm reading my notes here. I did want to thank Annette previously and Larry this time for letting me work with negotiations. It is a huge honor in order to help out FSA and work with NASCOE, and I've just greatly appreciated it. And that's it, Larry.
Well, thank you. I was interested to hear Peggy Brown mentioned today that they were using the retired annuitants in virtual jump teams. That was a suggestion, not virtual jump teams, but a suggestion through NASCOE. One of the negotiation items we had last year that carried over to this year was to use the retired annuitants on actually physical jump teams. I guess maybe it kind of got their interest and they were able to do that, although initially it wasn't. It was like, how can we do that? Maybe the current COVID situation helped that decision along. Next up would be our publicity chair, Carol Hill from Maryland.
Good afternoon. The Publicity Committee met this afternoon. Of course, the National Chair is Teresa Holmquist from Minnesota, and all the area chairs were present except for the Northwest area representative. Teresa gave a demonstration of our website and mentioned that it's had the same look and theme since approximately 2015 when we did the changeover to WordPress. And so she would like to do a refresh, and there's been some comments made about refreshing the website. And so she's looking for people who are interested in updating, that have some experience with her WordPress and or social media savvy. Always looking for people to show off their skills. And so if that's something that interests you, or you know somebody that might have an interest in that, feel free to send them Teresa's way to work on that, or see about tossing ideas, brainstorming about what we can do to do a website refresh. There was also discussion about the NASCOE information database, and I don't want to take too much away from what Tina has already shared. But publicity and membership are working together on this because the membership database that had been set up before really wasn't being maintained. And so this is to kind of merge everything together and have a better way to do it. One thing that I thought was interesting that was mentioned by Teresa is that we can finally get a county office employee list from the national office. And so that's able to be put into our spreadsheet. And so we have that current list of employees to work from and then go from there. So I think that's all I'll say about that, since Tina covered most of that. The convention Cash Club contest obviously did not get held this year. There was no convention, and with it being virtual, there wasn't really a way to do that. So we're hoping to resume that for 2021. The social media outlets that the NASCOE currently has is our Facebook NASCOE News that currently has 3,066 followers. Our Instagram, which works together with the Facebook page since it's owned by Facebook, has 259 followers. and our YouTube channel that has currently 39 subscribers. And the membership video was debuted on there today, as Tina mentioned. So that's one place where you can find that on your own time, on your own equipment. Teresa did mention that once we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, it does give us access to some other bells and whistles, some that might be helpful, some not, but it gives us more tools to work with. And we are currently making use of MailChimp for our mass notification emails. And hopefully you are on the email list to be receiving those anytime there is an update to the website and anytime there's any kind of news coming out from there. There has been discussion about whether, with the changes in technology happening daily, monthly, yearly, whether that's to be kept with publicity or we separate that and have a separate technology component. And that's still ongoing. And if anybody has any comments about that, they can pass them on to Teresa. And we adjourned at 3:49 p.m. As far as the Northeast area, we have our NEA Facebook page. As of Monday night, we have 105 page likes there. That 105 is not all from the Northeast area. I have several members from other areas. Can you still hear me, or did you?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I had a screen come up and sort of lost it. So that's including people from all across the country that have found our page and liked it as well. So it's not strictly the NEA, but I would hope that more of our NEA members that are on Facebook would be checking it out. I have a way to see reports for the last 28 days that encompass July 27th through August 23rd. Our page reach was 138 people. Posts engaged, meaning people commented or liked or shared it, was at 70. We had no new page likes during that 28-day period, so the 105 had been from prior to that. Again, I'm available to help anybody that needs any help with their own state publicity. And thank you, Annette, for giving me the opportunity to serve again. And thank you, Larry, for the past 2 years of serving in this capacity. And that is my report. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Carol. So next up on the agenda is the 2021 Northeast Area Rally. Jason, if you're still on, is there any updates you can give to the membership?
We're just looking forward to welcoming everyone to Pennsylvania here in 2021. We're still trying to nail down another location for the Northeast Area Rally, but we're hoping to get information out to you guys here shortly. So we're looking forward to attempt number 2 at the Northeast Area Rally.
All right. Thank you for that. And was a difficult decision to cancel that rally this year. I think it was probably the first function to be canceled, unless it was Patrick. Were you going to have your state meeting just before that?
Yeah, about 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of communication back and forth on what was the best route to take, but I think we certainly made the right decision to just put a halt on all gatherings. I think that proved to be very judicious. So finally, to wrap up, I have on the agenda an open session. If there's any concerns that anybody has, anything they would like Annette to take to the organizational meeting coming up in September 17th or something like that, now's your chance.
I have a concern, and I'm not sure this is the right platform, but I wanted to bring it up. The coronavirus food assistance program left out oystermen, oyster growers. And I know in my state, I have a lot of them. Well, the CARES Act put money out to NOAA to get some kind of financial assistance to them. Most oyster people were literally selling oysters one day and then they were done. So they still had their animal or they still had their product and it could still grow in the ocean, but they had no market to sell it. So basically they went from being in business to being out of business. So this money has come down through NOAA, and then NOAA has filtered this money down through the state departments of agriculture or the state business departments. Well, they have no clue how to give out money. Not a dime of that money has been given out anywheres. So my SED has been totally on it, like trying to go back and forth with DC about how come there's no oversight? There's no oversight for them to push this money out the door. And I know he's very friendly with another SED in Maine, I believe, and they've been going back and forth, as well as with the East Coast Shellfish Growers Association. And they're really trying to put some pressure on the agencies to get this money out to them. But again, they've been left out. They're all still, and you know, so now they're starting to sell oysters again because restaurants are open a little bit. But man, for the March, April, May, June, they were selling zero product and the money is just still sitting there. Does anybody have any ideas of getting some pressure on these other agencies to help these fishermen out?
Do you think they'll be added for the CFAP 2.0?
Not as far as, I guess, the last SED call, maybe last week or the week before. I mean, they added that more aquaculture, which just meant all those sport fish and stuff, but no, because they said the CARES Act already gave the money to NOAA. The money's already been trickled down. So they keep saying no. I just don't understand why the law got passed, the money got given out, and now it's just sitting there. So I know, for instance, in Rhode Island, I think they got like $4.8 million, and so, or $4.3 million. And our Rhode Island Department of Agriculture took $100,000 off the top for an administrative fee so that they could run the program, but still, it's just sitting there. And DC is basically saying that we can't put pressure on them. And I don't understand that. If the money came through NOAA, isn't NOAA another government agency? So why can't somebody put the pressure on them to put the pressure down?
I can certainly take that. I made a note, and I know we've talked about this before. I'll take that. One of the things, I'm probably going to be the only person not in person at the organizational meeting. Unfortunately, New York has a 2-week self-quarantine, and it's come back from the state office as well. So I'm going to do it via Teams. Not that I'm not going to be there. I'm just not going to be there in person. And I thought maybe Chris wouldn't be able to go, but Chris is going to go. So I think I'm the only state that is prohibited for going to Indiana. So, which kind of stinks, but so I'll be doing this.
Good practice for you then, right here.
Yes, that and the ledge too, because this software is slightly different than being a presenter. We had no lag. There's no lag with being a presenter, but there's a lag with this. So that's why it was confusing every time I hit my microphone that it wasn't reacting.
This meeting has sounded great. Nobody's really sounded drunk unless you guys are just pulling that off really well.
Well, most of you are in your offices. So I hope not.
So I see that John Lohr is on the call. So can I ask him a question?
Sure.
So we've all gotten really good at doing this Teams thing. I've had a county committee meeting every month via Teams, and it's been really good. And you know, practice makes perfect. Can we hold state meetings via Teams, and would you attend, and could we still get the benefit?
The very thing that we're considering, and very soon, hopefully, get together with Chris and the NASCOE leadership to talk about those very things. State meetings, also training for folks. Just heard today on the convention presentations about all the retirees, and Teresa Dillard related to me just yesterday. She had somebody call her very upset that they moved all their money to the government's annuity plan and then needed a lump sum and it wasn't available, and was saying, where have you been, Teresa? Why haven't you? And so anyway, Teresa's very sensitive to that too. So we're going to be reaching out to states and reaching out to folks this fall and winter when there's time to do those kind of things. Probably most of that, Cheryl, is going to have to be on your own time and dime, though, is my best guess. So it's something we would make available evenings, weekends. But one of the neat things about this is we don't have to travel. We can do multiple sessions. So yeah, that's a long answer to sure. Raise your hand and let us know, and we'll Zoom right in. We have the Zoom platform paid for. We also have Teams paid for. So we have our own platform that we can use too.
All right, anything else from anybody?
I am just curious if this is, I mean, I know next year is a long way away, but it's actually not going to be that far away in terms of what the likelihood is that we're going to continue to utilize this. I was actually thinking like it's nice to see people in the beginning. As a district, we did a couple of Teams calls with limited success, but like you said, this has actually been pretty good connection wise, and maybe it's something we want to pursue more.
That's funny you say that, Kate, because somebody suggested that I try this coming year with state presidents or who wants to get on from the states. Maybe a state president can, if they can't be on, or as many people from a state, and try this. I don't know. I hesitate doing it at work because obviously they granted some provisions this time. I don't see that going forward, but a lot of us are on our home laptops. It's a free software. Teams is free, or Zoom, whatever people want to do. But I think it's a great idea. I think seeing faces and people seeing other faces would make you want to be a little more involved. That's just my take on it.
And I do know, like, one of my PTs did let me know that she was going to be on today, and I can guarantee you she would never be at a convention, ever. But she is interested in hearing the messages.
I had the newest PT on today and an intern that I have on today. So I was happy that they're interested and they want to be involved.
Mm-hmm. And it's a cost savings. I hate to do away with face-to-face, but be real, it's a cost savings for these small states that can't travel too. So it keeps us connected.
I'll just comment on that if you don't mind, because it's been my baby lately. The convention line, the conference call line, I think cost us last year $8,200. This whole package that we were able to pick up is a quarter of that, and it lets people see each other. And we even sprung for the part where if Annette schedules a call for all of the state presidents, there's a phone number. So even if you can't, get on and show your face, you can still dial in from the side of the road or whatever if you need to. So it's exciting. I really hope it gets a lot of use. I will say that we're going full steam with Indiana. So the expectation is we will have a full-on face-to-face convention. But I think I will say that DC did not balk at letting us record them this time. I know that was an issue last year. So I'm hopeful that maybe we can do something where we're able to set up a camera and stuff and maybe share some of the things we do at a regular convention. I think the EC will have to kind of debate that a little bit. So you might talk to Annette because, there's a concern that if you can get everything virtually, you might not get the people there. And there's a lot of costs that have to be met by minimums and whatnot just to do the business. But it's really exciting to reach out to a lot of people. That we had up to 25 people on this meeting tonight, and I don't know, Larry, that's a pretty good size for a Northeast area breakout. So
that is a good number.
Yeah.
I think a little concern, because I had a couple people ask me, is this is great this year. It was great to do it this way, great to expose a lot of new people to NASCOE that hadn't been to a convention or even a rally or a face-to-face. But you have to be a little careful about keeping it special for members, because we had a lot of people on that are not members, and it's kind of like I'll go back to my dairying days. It's kind of like you pay your dues to be part of a milk co-op that pays dues to National Milk. And then you have all these little guys that do not, but reap the benefits that the ones paying the dues pay for. So I'm sure that conversation will come up. But I did hear, can non-members be on? And the memo came out that all employees could be on. So maybe we have something that's you want to have something that's exclusive to members.
And I should apologize quick. My face isn't on the screen. My internet died about 2 hours ago at the house, so I scrambled out, and I've got 3 different screens on as everybody is trying to reach out to me and ask questions about things that are going on. So typically I would be, jolly in the center, but right now I'm too spread out. I apologize.
You dyed your hair pink, didn't you, Rick?
Just the left side,
Before we sign off, I just have one question. When somebody seconded the motion, I thought Lori from Maine did the first. Did you do the first or the second? I thought you did first.
Which motion?
To pass the motion for Annette to be elected.
I did the second.
Who did the first?
I think it was me. Chris.
Okay. I just wanted the names to be correct in the minutes, so thank you.
One more question. So next year's convention is in Indiana. What happened to Georgia?
Larry, I'm sorry.
Georgia's been delayed one more year. 2022 is the plan right now. I don't know, Rick, if you've got any update on negotiations with the hotel, or is that all still?
No, it's still going. The hotel, as I think I shared previously, is a little persnickety. They've been a real treat. Required legal representation to get them to play nice. However, having said that, they are pretty much the only game in town in Savannah. We couldn't do 2021 next year because the contract for Indiana was already signed. We're usually 2 years out. So that's why we're looking at 2022 with Savannah. The last information the EC got was that they were pushing us back to like the 3rd week of August, and they wanted to increase the food costs from what we had. And Savannah's already kind of expensive. It's beautiful. It's going to be cool. I'm really excited by it. But it's, it's the East Coast on the water, and it's a little pricier. But we've actually had them come off of that a little bit. We'll tell the EC about it, as a whole. They meet next week for their first monthly call. But they're up to now like the end of the 1st week of August, which is well within our window. They're meeting about where we were for the last year. So the EC will have to make the call if it's a good enough contract that we signed next week. But I think that's what the board voted for, so that's what we're working toward, barring some big change. Is Savannah in 2022, some of that Tupelo honey or whatever.
Okay, so if there are no other concerns or nothing anybody wants to bring up, I just would like to thank everybody for their support over the last 2 years. It's been a great experience. It was a challenge for me to step up and take on the role. It's well out of my normal comfort zone, but it's a great experience. I certainly enjoyed it and would encourage any of you to become more involved and more active, although for the most part, those of you on this call already are. So with that, I guess I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a second?
I second that.
All righty. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you around the block.
Bye.
Bye.
Good. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you around the block.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.